Alrighty. So today we're going to be running through the live marketplace on NiceHash. So one of the most interesting pieces about this in general is that anyone can either sell or buy NiceHash mining power. So that's from other people. They can go on, they can list it. You can bid, which I think is pretty cool. But most importantly, hold on a second. I'm trying to get the live chat up here, guys. Give me a second. Alrighty. So most importantly, people can come on here and they can list hash power that they have on any algorithm. So whatever mining rigs they're using, whether they're going after SHA-256 or Dagger Hashimoto, they are able to jump on here and sell or buy hash power, which is pretty awesome. And I'm enjoying just going through their marketplace. It's not the most advanced technology as far as like a bidding system goes, but yeah, it's a really unique kind of setup where you can go back and forth between servers based in the US as well as in the UK. But I wanted to start with Dagger Hashimoto mainly because that's the one that I've been mining primarily, which is Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. But that's where I want to start just because that's where I've been spending most of my time and where I've been most interested in learning about. So real quickly, you can see here that there's two different servers. You have your server based in the EU and you have your servers based in the US. And you can go through and you can bid to basically rent this mining power from these individuals. So these can range from large farms all the way down to relatively small operations from what I understand. Let me get this back up here. Alrighty. So let's scroll down here. You can place a bid. These are all taken already. People are using that. So if you can see here, you can place a bid at 0.01 Bitcoin per day. So what is that? 0.01, $100, $101 per day, which is actually pretty cheap. $101 to utilize. That just went from 2 to 1. If you just saw that, that's interesting. So you can pay $100 a day, and you can have access to one mining rig or one miner. And gigahash is, as we've said before in the past, a gigahash is 1,000 megahashes. So when you're setting up a different rig, for example, the rig that I have now, which is an 8-card RX 580, 8 gigabytes. That 8-card rig is generating per card anywhere between 25 and 35 megahashes. So put all that together and you get anywhere in the range of 150, 175 megahashes. So when they're showing you this limit here in gigahash, that's relative to the whole amount. So 1,000, so for example, 10 of my rigs would equal a little bit over 1 gigahash. So let's go through here, and it shows that I can bid to rent. This is from the EU, keep in mind. So I can bid to rent. Actually, just for more fun, let's use this example. Let's use a bigger one. Let's find here we go. So for 1.5 gigahashes, which is 34 workers, so 34 cards, I can rent that, which is, what is that? 1.5 gigahashes. And I can rent that for, what's my price? What's my daily price? 0.01. So for $100 a day, I can rent 1.5 gigahashes, which is 25 mining cards that are active, and that will yield. Yeah, so it basically gives you your yield, your speed in gigahash, and then your limit in gigahash. So this is essentially saying that that actually went up to 27. So it's clear that they're pooling all of this together. These are probably, the higher numbers are probably members of farms, or they're renting them off as you're watching this in real time, which could also be happening. But personally, what I think is happening, like with something down here, if I can pay $100 a day to rent power from 40 gigahashes, which is 1,356 miners, that's pretty intense. That's a lot to rent, and I can bid against that. Like, it's very clear that in real time you can see that people are actually bidding down this price here. It's like updating when it flashes the different colors, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, you go in here, you can press your bids, you can increase your bids, you can decrease your bids. It's actually really, really well designed, I guess, because they're right side by side. And I've been playing around with this for the past couple of days, and one of the ones that I wanted to show you guys was Dagger Hashimoto and also Kryptonite. So let's jump right into Kryptonite, and as you can see, there's a lot more kind of evenly balanced people mining this than Dagger Hashimoto. So for 0.34 Bitcoins, I can rent basically a very small amount of what's their measurement here? Mega hashes, yeah. So a very small amount of mega hashes you can rent. Yeah, it seems like this is actually more expensive than the previous Dagger Hashimoto. Yeah, much more expensive actually than Dagger Hashimoto. Yeah, it's updating in real time, which I think is pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed at their whole kind of structure that they have here. But for people that do have mining power, there is something else that I wanted to mention, which is Simple Miner. A lot of people have been DMing me and messaging me on Instagram about Simple Miner, recommending it, saying that it is a powerful tool, and I have been checking it out a little bit. But as far as, because from what I've understood, Simple Miner is good for a lot more cards because it requires low amounts of GPU. So it's more efficient, but at the same time, NiceHash moving everything into one simple interface to the point where you can just plug it in and go, and it's mining the most profitable coins throughout the day. That to me offsets the stretch of maybe a couple dollars, which you already pay in fees. So I really think that they're very similar, and there's no right or wrong answer here. But what I do think is that when you are doing your research over which service you're going to use, basically just think about your electricity cost. And a really great analogy that I heard was electricity from mining is like gas in a car. And you get your car, you love your car, your rig basically, and you need to power it with gasoline. And basically however much gas you have and the price of gas determines how far you can go, like with your investment. So I really encourage you guys to check out a lot of these different forums. Like Bitcoin Talk is where I usually do a lot of my research on like the amount of yield that you get out of each watt. So, figuring out, all right, this is how many mega hashes, or this is how many mega hashes I'm going to get out of each watt, and whichever is the lowest amount for energy. I know places like where Genesis Mining is, like that cloud crazy kind of operation that I don't really trust, but they have like extremely cheap power in Iceland, which is where their warehouses are. Box Mining did a really great piece on like where he walked through it and checked out their ridiculous facility. But I think that not going down that rabbit hole too much, before you make your decision over, whether it's NiceHash or Simple Miner or any other type of platform like this, I think what you need to do is you need to drill down how much your electricity costs are each day, how much yield you're getting out of that, and making sure that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So right now, mining Ethereum and a couple other altcoins that are currently going back and forth with some of my mining friends about which ones are the most profitable ones. But I do think that Ethereum and Ethereum Classic are going to be the big ones for 2018. That's what everybody's after. So we are going to see like a hockey stick of the difficulty increasing. I can almost guarantee that, especially with Samsung announcing today that they are getting into the mining space with a anonymous Chinese company. So they're going to be throttling that. There's also a company called Because that's just throwing like $60 million at a facility in Virginia, in the United States, which is epic, in Virginia Beach. So the difficulty is going to go up. And I think that one of the most important things that a lot of people have taught me and that I've been learning about is just really following your costs and making sure that it makes sense to be mining where your rig currently is. That's not saying whether or not you should be mining. Obviously, I'm very interested in mining and I'm learning everything about it. And I'm showing you guys updates as much as I can as I'm learning. So we're learning together. And I think that it's important to go through each of your costs before you commit to a space, like whether it's in your house, whether it's in your a warehouse down the street, whether it's at work, whatever you're doing. But I do encourage you guys to do more research on that. Get an Excel spreadsheet, open that up, and figure that out. Or the reason that I'm making this video is so that you guys can potentially go on here and just rent it. I think that this is a much better solution than the whole cloud mining thing that everybody's doing, where they're locking into yearly contracts and they're seeing these crazy results. But I have experience with that. I actually did one called Micro BTC a little while ago that basically just walked away with the money that everybody I referred, and it was a nightmare. So I don't use cloud mining anymore, but I do think that this type of live marketplace on NiceHash is a good alternative. So for everybody watching this that is doing things like Hashflare and Genesis Mining and some of these other big name people or big platforms that have these warehouses of thousands and thousands of graphics cards, I think that check this out. Check out NiceHash and their marketplace, because I do think that there is a potential for more profit to be had in this marketplace, because it's a little bit less of a middleman, because you're going directly to these people, and it is through NiceHash, but at the same time, it's something that's trustworthy, in my opinion, and in the mining community. From what I've read, this is probably the most trusted marketplace that you can buy and sell mining power. So I do recommend checking this out. As I said before, check your electricity, be smart about it, do your research, check Bitcoin Talk. And I have read a lot about, on whattomine.com, and also the Ethereum community forum That one's really helpful. A lot of people talk about where to buy and sell their used rigs because those are going like hotcakes right now. I've seen some for tens of thousands of dollars that are just insane. It's just ridiculous. But that's kind of my quick overview of their live marketplace. You guys should check it out. Throw some bids in. Maybe make an offer. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of just this marketplace and compared to cloud mining and what it means. And also, I'd love to know what you guys think about simple mining and your thoughts around that. Just kind of around the whole concept of putting these two against each other. I mean, not that NiceHash versus Simple Miner is the competition, but I do think that it's worth testing both. I think that Simple Miner is a little bit more tech savvy people, and NiceHash is intentionally simplistic. So you don't have to, in theory, just understand how the bridge happens with every detail. But yeah, that's all for this kind of daily overview. My rig is going to be up and running again tonight. So I'll get another update for you guys as far as what kind of power I'm putting out over the next couple of days. But I really wanted to spend some time and just talk to you guys about what the marketplace was, if it's a potential alternative to something like cloud mining, like a Genesis mining or a Hashflare, and if you guys have tried it. Also, it's clear that Dagger Hashimoto is the reigning champ on the marketplace here because it is lighting up constantly. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.